I'm sure you're all aware from either working in the industry or from the media coverage that there's a huge amount of talk and excitement about the Irish food industry. And the video that you saw at the beginning of the evening has put some real figures behind that excitement. And Aidan has spoken about the enviable position that Ireland is in as a food producing country to meet this growing global demand. Grace has taken us to some of the dining tables and kitchens of consumers around the world and has started to give us an insight into how and why food matters to these people. Michael has very kindly taken us on a journey of a successful Irish food entrepreneur. But as I'm sure you and Michael and other entrepreneurs know, that success doesn't always come easily, and that opportunity doesn't just come knocking on the door. What Foodworks is doing is looking for 15 top entrepreneurs who can become the next Largo Food, the next Dawn Farm Foods, the next Kerry Foods, or the next Cuisine de France. And tonight really is all about starting that journey of creating the next generation of scalable, successful, exporting food companies out of Ireland. As Thomas Edison said, it must all start with the consumer, and food is no different. The idea of the consumer is at the heart of the Foodworks programme. So make no mistake about this, this is a very ambitious objective that we have to create the next generation of scalable, exportable food companies out of Ireland. And it's not one that we've actually committed to lightly. We have done a huge amount of research on it. We've consulted with successful Irish food entrepreneurs, people like Michael, people like Ronan McNamee, who founded and actually sold Cuisine de France, people like Ray Coyle from Largo Foods, and also some of the more recent food entrepreneurs like Pádraig McEnany from Celtic Pure, Colleen Sully, I'm sure you're familiar with, and the Broderick brothers. And what they have done is they've shown us what ambitious entrepreneurs need at the various stages, from ideation right through to commercialisation. And what they told us, well, entrepreneurs don't lack for ideas, but that they need mentoring to actually help them screen those ideas. And they need mentoring to really challenge their thinking. Researching the market, identifying routes into markets, and developing market entry strategies have all been mentioned to us as key areas where mentoring is actually needed. And with all this mentoring, it feeds into developing an investor-ready business plan. They've also shared with us the financial requirements that are needed at the various stages of growth and the challenges that go with that, and especially in these times. And entrepreneurs, they've also shared with us the direction and the guidance that's actually needed by entrepreneurs. They need to know where to find the best supports and services on the island. Where do they find information on product development? Where do they find information on pilot plants? How do they test their products? How do they do sensory analysis? But most importantly, what they've actually said to us is that they need more networking. And Michael has really mentioned this. And the reason they need more networking is because entrepreneurs learn from other entrepreneurs. They need to access contacts in distribution and contacts in retail. And they've also recognised that collaboration within the industry is actually becoming more and more critical if we're to reach the kind of targets that we need to reach. So they need to find, they need to work with other sectors within the industry along the supply chain. So whether it's on manufacturing, whether it's on ingredients, whether it's on product development, or even further down in terms of distribution, logistics and marketing. But collaboration is required. So what we did was we refined everything that we heard from the industry here in Ireland, and then also what we've actually learned from overseas experiences and from other models. And we've developed a programme for food entrepreneurship. It's a new programme and it's got a new approach to food entrepreneurship. It's got 5 stages, and I'm just going to run through them. The first stage is Plan Your Path, which we are here this evening. Stage 2, Immerse Yourself. Stage 3, Book Your Place. Stage 4, Take Your First Steps. And Stage 5, Begin Your Venture. And Foodworks is like a building block or a journey that we want you to take with us. And we're starting here this evening with Plan Your Path. And we want this journey to end with 15 investor-ready entrepreneurs about to launch, ready to launch their ventures and to enter the global market. So, by the end of this evening, we want you to leave here knowing that the Irish food industry is growing as global demand grows, but that the continued and long-term growth will be dependent on us actually bringing consumer-focused food and beverage products to market. And that real success lies in what we call an unmet or an unknown consumer need. And this feeds into what Grace has shared with you. I also want to share with you, I need you to leave here knowing as well, that the real success will come from entering export markets, scalable export markets early. And that finally, and very importantly, it is very, very difficult to do it alone. And some of the biggest business brains will actually recognise this as well. Bill Gates has said, our success has really been based on partnerships from the very beginning. So what we say to you is, you must be open to expertise and advice from outside. You must be open to collaboration and even actually working with your competitors at various stages of the supply chain. And also open to taking in investment in order to reach the financial targets that you have and the growth targets. And it's all of this that's actually behind the rationale for FoodWorks. So, in stage 2 of the journey, known as Immerse Yourself, we want to provide you with some tools and some skills to actually really help you to screen and assess the idea that you have. And we're basing this around a model that Grace has mentioned earlier. The reason we're using this model is that it's been used by some of the big global brands like PepsiCo and Unilever. And essentially, it's got all 3 partners coming together, Bord Bia, Enterprise Ireland and Teagasc, and we're bringing our experiences and our resources together. So starting with what is desirable to users. And this is where you've got to start asking the question, who's going to buy your product? Why are they going to buy the product? And where do they actually want to buy that product? And Grace is going to take you through a more in-depth analysis of the consumer in terms of consumer trends, consumer behaviour and motivations. And also provide you with tools and skills to actually help you to bring that information back into your own idea processes. The next stage is what is viable in the marketplace. This is where Enterprise Ireland will actually help you to start asking the hard questions and to really challenge your thinking. Will enough people buy my product at the price that I need to get to make a business out of it? Can I actually get to those consumers? And is that a scalable model for export? And the final piece of the jigsaw is what is possible with technology. And this is where Teagasc will play an important role. And that's really about sharing all the knowledge that exists in this country from a technical perspective and helping you to do this. And what we know, and what some of the large global brands know, is actually when you can get these 3 to converge, that's when you've got the start of something real. So, the Immerse Yourself period is going to take place over 3 evenings, over 3 weeks, in 2 locations. So just to clarify that, essentially you choose whether you want to go to the Cork event or the Dublin event. We've gone for evening time events because we want to make it as accessible as possible to people. We're talking about approximately a two-hour evening event, and there's a charge of €75 for the total 3 nights. Online registration will actually be from this Friday on our website, foodworksireland.ie. So just to recap on the objective of this programme and our ambition for the programme, it is to create the next generation of Irish exporting food companies. It's not a start your own business course. It's specifically about drawing inspiration from the consumer. It's about idea generation, and then it's about testing that idea with the consumer. It's about testing the commercial viability of your idea before investing in significant capital. And it's about finding entrepreneurs with a drive and ambition who want to work with this programme and take it to the next level. So, stage 4, we're looking for 30 potential entrepreneurs for an intensive 8-week period. These 30 will be made up of individuals who have experience, maybe in the food industry, maybe not, but who do have experience. It may also be made up of teams, because we want to encourage that and to see people bringing teams with various skills together. If you are one of the 30, we will assess your skills and experiences and do a needs analysis on it. And what we want from the 30 is their commitment to dedicate time to their idea or to their process. And in return, what we will do is we will help you validate the idea with the consumer. Grace will bring you through a whole process of validation. We'll also take you on what we call an inspiration expedition, which essentially is about taking you out of the factory, taking you out of the office, and letting you walk in the shoes of the consumer. We're going to give you 6 educational modules, and these are going to be delivered in interactive and intensive workshops. And the themes are going to be based around a number of the issues that I've mentioned and Michael has mentioned, and they're going to be delivered by experts and industry practitioners. We're going to have one-to-one mentoring for the 30, 2 days of one-to-one mentoring, and this is really to help you assist with developing your plan and to testing it. We're going to network you into the industry as much as possible, attendance at brand forum events, and we'll also partner you with a Teagasc expert who can start the process of validating your idea from a technical perspective. There is a feasibility grant of €5,000 available from Enterprise Ireland for each of the 30. We will be charging €500 for this part of the programme. And now 30 will become 15. And the reason being is that not all companies will actually be ready to progress to the next level. And not everybody will actually have met the milestones. The next level will be all about the finer detail of validating the consumer for the export market and really testing the commercial viability of what it is you're proposing to do. There will be a further 5 educational modules, including a detailed financial. The one-to-one mentoring is actually going to increase to 6 days, which is quite significant, and that's to really help in terms of challenging your business plan. We'll take you to an export market, introduce you to the Borbia people on the ground, bring you to retailers so you can begin to understand the consumers over there, give you an overview of logistics that are required, and that's really all about ensuring that you build your knowledge of the marketplace. Your relationship with Teagasc and your technical expert will continue, and you'll be able to access the services and support that Teagasc have, such as incubation units, testing facilities, sensory analysis, and so on. So you will also be able to access or apply for additional funding from Enterprise Ireland as well at this stage. And at the end of this stage, not only will there be 15 very strong entrepreneurs, but there will be 15 investor-ready business plans, and these entrepreneurs will own their business plans. But it doesn't end there. Our 15 will now have the potential to be assessed by Enterprise Ireland for high potential startup status, and to then assess the supports and services that are available within that. Given the fact that so much emphasis is going to be placed on developing their business plan, they'll now be in a much better position to actually access Angel Business Fund. They'll also be able to access Borbia's retailer collaboration programs and food service ones, either on the Irish market or overseas. We'll also network you into the overseas market of our office overseas. And finally, we want to see these 15 at our Marketplace 2014 event. And this event attracts between 400 and 500 international buyers to meet and buy food and beverage products from Irish companies. So I'm sure you're asking, how do I become one of these 30? In the first instance, there is eligibility. The product must be a manufactured food product. If it is a company, it must be less than 2 years old. We're looking for people, individuals or teams who have experience, who've got drive and who've got ambition. Your idea must be truly unique or innovative, and it must be something that you believe is actually scalable for the export market. You must also meet the criteria to become a Borbia or an Enterprise Ireland client, and there must be a target to reach sales of 1 million within 3 years. And just to refer back to one of Grace's figures, she says that just 2% of food companies reach a turnover of over 10 million. And that's the area we're looking for. So, this will be a competitive application process. All applicants will be treated sensitively and with confidentiality. We'll have a reviewing panel who will actually bring people forward for interviews. And the whole programme will begin on the 27th of August. Here are just some key dates that I want you to be aware of, and I think you may have already received these. If you haven't, just do pick them up. So it's the end of the evening, and I'm sure you're sitting there wondering if this programme is for me, and I actually almost feel that Michael has probably answered a lot of this for me, in the sense of actually really digging deep and looking at yourself. So what I'd say to you is, if you believe that your product or idea, even though it's rough around the edges at the moment, actually has something that meets a consumer need and something that's actually scalable for the export market, if you have the drive and the commitment to commit to this programme and to work with it, then what I'd say to you is FoodWorks is definitely your opportunity. Thank you very much.